before my grandpa passed away, he said, yo, get your guns in order for her. I said, what? I said, Grandpa, chill, please chill.
King Saladeen.
What's up, my brother?
Welcome to Rap Dance, man.
It's an honor, man. Thank you, bro.
Listen, thank you for opening up your space to us.
No, of course, man.
I feel like I want to know about your fatherhood artistry, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Still working on the process, man.
Always, right? I mean, are we always ever completely there? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So let's get started. So break it down for me. How old are your kids? You know,
so
all that stuff.
I have 2 kids. I got back-to-backs, right? Pandemic, kind of before the pandemic, back-to-back. So my son Noah is 6. He'll be 7 in November. And my daughter Ariam, she just turned 5 in June.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back to back. Was that plan to get them in and get them out, or?
No, it was. I don't think none of it was actually planned. My son was kind of more talked about and things like that.
Right.
But when I found out about my daughter, when he was like, I don't even know, he was just starting to walk or something like that, and then it's like, I'm pregnant. What? I was like, yo. Anyway, it was crazy because it was in the midst of like me just like really just tackling the world and just trying to really figure it out, man. So it was around like 2017.
Okay.
It was rolling for me though, you know what I mean? But it was definitely
good.
Still a scary spot where it's like, okay, I got to worry about somebody other than me.
Yes, that light bulb.
Yeah.
That's a reality check for sure. But let's bring it even further back. What was your relationship like growing up with your pop?
Unfortunately, man, I ain't have a relationship with my dad.
Okay.
He was one of those guys, you know what I'm saying? A little bit older than my mom. He was one of those dudes, I guess, that had a bunch of families on the other side of the city.
Right.
My mom only knew about him and her, you know what I mean? So didn't have a relationship with him, but I have an amazing relationship with my stepfather. So I call him my dad.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Word, absolutely.
So he's been in my life probably since I was probably like 6.
Okay.
Maybe 6 or 7, around my son's age, honestly. You know what I mean? It was the best thing oh man, if I ain't have it, I don't know where I'd be at.
I love that.
Like,
man.
honestly, bro, honestly.
How has being a father impacted you personally?
How's it impacted me as a person? And like, I'm almost speechless because I don't know, in so many different ways, bro. Like just thinking about somebody before yourself all the time. You know what I mean?
Time.
All the time. And I got a boy and a girl, so I'm trying to balance time between my son and my daughter. You know, everybody's saying like your son gonna leave you when he find a girl one day. Your daughter gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just gotta balance the time, man. But it's all new to me because I ain't never see a lot of this growing up.
Right.
Especially with somebody that's like on the go. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the go, but I do have time to be with them.
Right.
So it's like just balancing everything. Like I could be in the studio all day, like in my own world, creating, zoning, doing stuff I gotta do. But I know it's like, okay, they get out of camp, they get out of school at a certain time. I want to be there before they go to sleep.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I got them praying and all kinds of stuff. So it's like, I just want to be there because I ain't really have that father. Like, and mom can do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Mom can do it, but it's certain things that like your son not even gonna come to you with, or daughter. I don't know. You feel me? So I don't know. I just want to be like that guy that's like always been there for him. You know what I mean?
Now I want to dig a little deeper into, you know, your relationship with your children and that element of your fatherhood. You know, your imagination puts food on the table. Your imagination is, you know, what is providing, you know, the lifestyle that your children will live. How are you fostering and developing imagination in them, and how are you protecting their imagination?
So it's so crazy, right? So like every day my kids, like, they got books, crayons, markers, everything. Every day they want to paint, and not paint, but like draw and just like fill different books up and stuff like that. And that's something that's in my DNA. My grandfather's an artist, my uncle's an artist. So I think it's just naturally there, and I just let them flow. And they see what I do. Like they come to the studio, they like, you know what I mean? They've been in my studio since they was babies, like couldn't walk, you know what I mean? And just like looking around crazy. So I think it's already in them, DNA wise, and then what I'm doing and what I bring them around, I try to bring, like, I was always bringing my son to meetings and just everything so he could just like see what I'm doing. Like
Right.
my son to this day still, it's like, he's like, you sure you didn't play in the NBA? And I'm like, why would you ask me that? But he doesn't fathom like what's
Right.
going on, how I can like sit
Right.
around with him and draw and do art
Yeah.
and then take him somewhere and meet a player. Like it's
Come
just,
on.
I can't. It's kind of hard for me to like really grasp everything that's going on. But
Right.
I just keep them as free as possible, bro, because I know like this is a real small window of time
Word.
that they gonna be the way they are right now. So I think I gotta just like throw that into them. Like that's what my mom did with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I used to write on the walls in Southwest Philadelphia as a kid, 6, 7 years old, to the point where, you know, I got beatings over and over.
Right, right.
And me and my mom had to sit down. Like I'm 7 years old and I'm like, Mom, I think I should have the leeway to like do whatever I want in my room. I'm not gonna touch downstairs.
Right, right, right.
And she like was really like, okay, just your room. If I see something in the kitchen, it's on.
I love that.
But that's what opened me up, because I was able to stay in the house and not sneak
Right.
and I don't know, bro. It's just like, so I give them that times a million. They can't write on the walls though.
Right.
A little different house, you know what I'm saying? But they got they got all the paper they need, all the
Right,
canvas.
right.
They come here, write on wall, whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just like I think I have to do that.
So communication also is obviously a crucial part of any relationship that you have. And, you know, you communicate for a living, but how do you communicate with your children? What does communication look like with them?
Just still learning, man. Still learning, because my daughter is younger than my son. My son is like on it.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? So I got to watch what I even say around him, the music I play,
Word.
just all kinds of little stuff, because he just soaked everything up.
Right.
So I think really the communication is really just like, right now it's nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just like, y'all got to let me know everything that's going on when y'all not around me. You know what I mean? I had to talk with him where it's like private parts, and nobody's supposed to touch
love
this,
that.
nobody's supposed to do this, and nobody's supposed to kiss you and hug you
Right.
unless it's your mom, your grandma, you know, stuff like that. And I think that's my real communication with them right now, is just like how to get in their heads not to be like super gullible and green to
Yes.
the world.
Boundaries.
Because
Establishing
boundaries. So I never really got taught boundaries.
Right.
I just knew what was right. I had a lot of people around me, you know what I mean, that I just knew what was right. And I think with them, especially being in like a different neighborhood, like, you know, I was in West Philly and
Talk
Southwest
about
Philly.
it. Yep.
That was just walk outside danger. You know what I'm saying? Walk to the store, you're going to get in a couple fights.
Right.
Somebody
Word.
might take your grocery bag. You might have to fight them, tell you. It's like all that. They don't have to worry about that. But it's
Yes.
other things that it's like stuff I didn't know about. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I'm working on it, bro. I'm new in the game. That's why I needed your book, man.
No, I think you're doing, I mean, come on, bro. You're doing everything right. I love that. And I also love you touched on preparing them for the world that they live in. I had, you know, when I became a dad, I had a period in my life where I was trying to teach them everything that I learned growing up in West Philly, and they don't live nowhere near West Philly. So they don't need to survive the element that I grew up in.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
need to navigate the space that they're in now.
Right.
So, but at the same time, I found ways to put them in the environment where they would develop that spidey sense of like, wow, this ain't right, or this is uncomfortable, or what am I supposed to be? Like, you know, riding the subway in New York is wild.
I don't even ride the subway in New York. Bro, I'm not. I'm just not.
It's a wild place, bro.
The underworld, baby.
It's the underworld, exactly. And so my sons grew up on the subway. And so they knew, like,
That's
okay, this
different.
dude's mentally unstable.
Yeah.
Like, they know what that feels like. All right, maybe we should switch cars and go to another car on the train. Like, they got it. And then, you know, when they were probably 14, they were running around the city on their own. Like, they got it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But I had to, you know, my wife and I really made sure that we were like, okay, now let's start to let them go on their own, because that's another thing. We have to prepare them for what's to come, because we're not always going to be there, and it's unfair to them if they're so reliant on us that they can't do anything independently.
Definitely. That's a
Word.
hard one. That's a hard one, bro.
It's crazy hard. to this day, like my son is 20, I'll be telling my wife, yo, cut the cord, ma. Like, what lesson has your son taught you, and what lesson has your daughter taught you?
I'm gonna start with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me to kind of be like, you gotta be patient, and then you also gotta, like, you can't talk to him the same when you get mad at him.
That part.
Like, oh man, I got mad at her for something maybe a year, 2 years ago, and like I popped her. You know what I mean? Because I forget she was doing something that I just felt like, what are you doing?
Right.
But she's a kid too.
Right.
But I don't have experience dealing with kids.
Right.
So it was like one of those things where she just knocked something over and looked at me like, what? And I was kind of like, how do I get that out of her system? Because
Right.
you can't do that. You know what I mean? So I think I popped her in the butt once or twice, and she started crying and just sat in the corner, and I was just like, what did I just do? So I had to go back over there and talk to her like, yo, I'm sorry, but you can't do certain things. But with my son, I'm tougher. Yo, go upstairs, man, you crying. So it's like, I just learned how to like de-escalate, patience,
Right.
and get back. Kind of like after I do something, get back with them just to like, yo, this is why I did that, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's both of them, but my daughter is like, she's manipulating already. She know how to make herself cry. It's just a whole bunch of female stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is how they come out the womb.
Word.
No disrespect.
Word.
This is how women come out the womb.
You're not the first dad on this show to talk about that, bro.
Girls is different, bro.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get to the age of her being like a girl, like
Right,
9, 10, 11. Dog, I don't know if I'm ready.
Yo.
I don't know if I'm ready, bro. Before my grandpa passed away, he said, yo, get your guns in order for her. He said, you're going to need guns for her. I said, what? I said, Grandpa, chill. Please chill. I swear, that's one of the last things I remember him talking to me about.
I feel like we learn about loss really early. You know what I mean? Like, we have friends that pass away, really young. My son turned 20 this year. And on his 20th birthday, I was like just reflecting on like my friends who didn't make it to 20.
Damn.
I was like, yo, you have outlived friends that I had growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what have those types of experiences and memories like taught you about, even that you employ in your fatherhood? Like, do you ever like think about those moments?
I think about it a lot just because like a lot of my friends that passed or like family members that passed, I like still talk and deal with their kids. You know what I'm saying? So I had a cousin that me and him was super tight. Rest in peace, Maine. His son, I kind of took him under my wing when he was probably like around like, I'm gonna say 10, 11.
Okay.
So when I was in New York all the time, I used to take him up to the meetings and just like I was doing what his dad would want me to do with him. Because I had conversations with him before. He's like, yo, anything ever happened to me, don't get too busy for my son.
Right.
Don't get too Hollywood for my son.
Right.
I literally talked to him, and I wasn't popping nothing at that time.
Right.
But they might have seen something in me.
Oh, yeah,
Just
of
seeing
course
how
they
I was
did.
moving, you know what I mean? So when Maine passed away, first thing I did was like, gripped up his young boy and just like, yo, we out, staying at my crib for summers, you know what I'm saying? I think about it all the time, you know what I'm saying? Especially on the gram, people hitting me up, yo, what's the name was my dad. Like I had a bunch of friends, like I just was on a DM with one of my friends' daughters. My man Pop, me and him was super tight, like super tight. And she was just like, yo, I never met you, but my grandmama always talk about you. You did the painting for him after he passed away. She got it on her, like, it's crazy. So I always think about it, and I always tell my son, like your friends, you only gonna have a few good friends.
Yes.
Like everybody you meet, you just meeting through the time and through whatever
Seasons
environment you in.
Right.
But like, don't hold nothing too tight for nobody because they're gonna let you down. You know what I mean? I had these conversations with him now. Because most of the friends that I grew up with, if they didn't pass away or they not locked up, a lot of them like kind of like deterred from me after I wanted to pursue and do something. You know what I'm saying? Like just naturally. Like you trying to do some shit, I ain't. All right, bro.
Absolutely. I've had the same exact experience. The same experience.
So I don't know. Like I think about it all the time though, because I got so many friends that passed away, and I'm seeing their kids living on Instagram, and I'm just like, yo, you are your dad.
Wow.
Like from the way they act, dress, talk, and I'm like, they didn't even get to experience their father. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think about it all the time, man.
Man. So you said that your family's small. I know you got a circle. Tell me about the circle of friends that you have that you allow to have access to your kids.
So, I mean, I think the people that allow access to me, I trust them enough for me, I can trust them for my kids.
That's a bar.
You know what I mean? Because other than that, it's like, my kid's definitely not just going to be around anybody. Anybody I can invite to my house, and I ain't got to think twice about, like,
Right.
should I let that nigga in my house?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
it's so much. So
Yes.
I only be around a certain group of people, and that's really the people, CMI, Create, Motivate, Inspire, my team, my foundation. You know, Big J,
Of course.
my brother Kev, Oren, Alberto's back there, and I got a few other, you know, type people
Right.
that I'm with. But it's the same people literally every day for the last probably like more than 5-10 years.
Word.
And a couple of people I walk to school with in the snow that I be with. So other than that, I'm cool, bro. I'm very selfish on who I bring my energy around, because I don't want to conflict energies. Everything energy, you know what I mean? And you can be around the wrong
Everything.
person and turn your day, your week crazy.
Word.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty much everybody that I feel comfortable with being around on a daily, with no kind of thoughts in the back of my mind that is no BS. They can be around my kids.
I love that. And you said it, like, whoever I feel comfortable giving my energy to. Like, that's the boundary off top.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
if I don't want to be around you, I definitely don't want you around my kids.
Definitely. You ain't even going to work. What city I'm in. That's how far we going to be apart.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word. On the next episode of the Rap Dads Show.
I remember being in court, sitting across from the dude that killed my dad. So I just wanted to be the dad that I didn't get to have.